What if everything you thought you knew about African marriages was only half the story? What if behind the beautiful weddings, behind the dancing, the colorful clothes, the smiling families, there were secrets no one dares to speak about? Why do some African marriages last for 50 years, while others collapse before the wedding photos even fade? Why are some couples willing to fight entire villages for love, while others are trapped in marriages built on money, fear, or family pressure? And why do some ancient African marriage traditions still shock the modern world? Tonight, you are about to uncover the hidden truths of African marriages, stories of love, betrayal, tradition, power, sacrifice, and secrets families have hidden for generations, because marriage in Africa is never just between two people. It is between families, ancestors, tradition, and sometimes secrets. But before we begin, tell us in the comments, do you think African marriages today are stronger or weaker than before? And if stories of Africa fascinate you, subscribe to African Tales Arising, because here, Africa speaks through stories. Now, let us begin with a truth many people fear to admit. Love alone has never been enough in many African marriages. In many parts of the world, marriage is often seen as a private affair. Two people meet, fall in love, get married. Simple. But in Africa, marriage has always been much deeper than romance. For centuries, marriage was survival. It was family alliance, protection, status, wealth, and community. In many African traditions, you did not simply marry a person, you married their family, their history, their responsibilities, and sometimes their problems. Imagine this: a young man deeply in love, ready to marry, but his parents refuse, not because the woman is bad, but because her family has old conflicts with theirs. In some communities, a marriage could heal tribal wounds, but in others, it could start war. And then there was bride price, a tradition loved by some and hated by others. But what many people misunderstand is that bride price was never originally about buying a woman. No, in many African traditions, it symbolized respect, commitment, and responsibility. A man had to prove, I can care for your daughter. But over time, something changed, and for some families, marriage slowly became business, a dangerous shift that still affects many relationships today. But wait until you hear what happened in some communities, where a man could lose his wife without even seeing it coming. Across Africa, marriage traditions vary greatly. Some are beautiful, some emotional, and some will leave outsiders speechless. In certain communities, families investigated each other before marriage, not social media, not background checks, entire family investigations. Are they hardworking? Any history of curses? Madness in the bloodline? Violence? Laziness? Marriage was too important to gamble with. Then there were traditions where elders tested a bride's character. Could she manage a home? Could she handle pressure? Would she respect elders? Today, some call these traditions unfair. Others say they protected marriages, but perhaps one of the most controversial traditions was polygamy, a man marrying multiple wives to outsiders. This often looked unfair, but historically, the story was more complicated. In times of war, many men died, leaving widows behind. Polygamy sometimes became survival, protection, economic support, but over time, love, jealousy, competition, and heartbreak entered the picture. Because when emotions meet tradition, things rarely remain peaceful, and one woman's story from East Africa would leave an entire village speechless. Her name was Amina. At least, that is what we shall call her. Amina grew up believing marriage was sacred. Her parents had been married for 40 years. They argued, they struggled, but they stayed together. So when she met Daniel, she believed she had found forever. He was charming, hardworking, respectful, Everything seemed perfect. The wedding was beautiful. The village celebrated. People danced until sunrise. Everyone said, "They are blessed." But sometimes, the most painful storms arrive after the celebration. Months passed. Then came silence, coldness, secrets, late-night disappearances, and strange whispers from neighbors. One evening, Amina discovered something that shattered her completely. Daniel had another family, a secret life. For years, children, promises, lies, everything collapsed. And yet, what hurt her most was not betrayal. It was what her relatives told her next. Stay. Marriage is difficult. Endure. Think of shame. How many African women and men have silently suffered because society feared divorce more than suffering? But there is another side to this story. Some marriages survive storms that seem impossible, and the reason may surprise you. Why do some couples survive 50 years together? What is there? Surprisingly, it is not perfect love, not money, not beauty. Many elders say something shocking. Marriage survives because people choose commitment over feelings. In many African homes, marriage was viewed as endurance, not temporary emotion. When hard times came, people fought for the marriage. But modern relationships, many say things changed. Social media, financial pressure, unrealistic expectations, fast lifestyles, everything changed. Some elders believe people now prepare for weddings more than marriage itself. Millions spent on ceremonies, yet no emotional preparation. But are modern marriages truly weaker, or are people simply refusing silent suffering? That question has divided generations across Africa, and what young Africans are saying today may surprise older generations. Today, many young Africans want love marriages, freedom, equal partnership, personal happiness, but tradition still whispers, "Respect family, stay married, don't embarrass us." The clash creates tension. A woman wants career growth. A husband expects traditional roles. Families interfere. Money creates conflict. Suddenly, love faces pressure from every direction, and then comes one of marriage's greatest enemies: silence, the unspoken pain, the conversations couples avoid, the emotions buried. Sometimes people stop fighting, not because peace arrived, but because hope disappeared, and this silent heartbreak has destroyed countless marriages. Yet, there is one forgotten lesson from old African marriages that modern couples may need now more than ever. Long ago, communities protected marriages, not by controlling couples, but through wisdom. Elders mediated conflict, families offered support, people were rarely left alone in difficult moments. Today, many couples suffer privately, smiling online, breaking inside. But old African wisdom taught something powerful. Marriage is teamwork, communication, patience, understanding, and respect, not perfection. No marriage escapes storms, but perhaps the strongest marriages are not those without problems, but those who refuse to stop trying. Still, there remains one final truth, a truth many people may not want to hear. Marriage, whether African, Western, modern, or traditional, has never been easy. Love changes, people change, life changes. But one thing remains true: marriage reflects who we are, our fears, our wounds, our values, and our ability to grow together. Some marriages fail, some survive, some inspire generations, others teach painful lessons. But perhaps the greatest question is not, is marriage still worth it? Perhaps the real question is, are we ready for what marriage truly demands? And now, we want to hear from you. Do you think African marriages are becoming stronger or weaker? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey through Africa's untold stories, like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to African Tales Arising, where Africa's deepest stories come alive.